Alright, I'm gonna do a video. So I wanted to do this video yesterday, apparently. I just forgot all about it. And then I was watching Crystal's channel and it reminded me again. Okay, so there's another day we were talking about, it really reminds me, like, well, there's these things that I like to talk about as far as, like, swirling, I guess you can say. Many people always act like you are, like, if you're a swirler, you got issues with, like men. Like, you're angry at them, uh, that you're, when you have children that don't really look like you, maybe, you're doing it as a reaction to a bad relationship or something. That's what, for me, like these things, these accusations just don't really work. It's like all of it's so opposite. Like for one example, um, I generally think like people always say that like people who are only like swirl or whatever they want for one children that are like don't look like them. Me, that is the biggest problem I have with swirling, to be really honest. And honestly, for real honest, and I know this is probably gonna weird some people out when I say this, but it is what it is, and that's just how I feel when I look at other people. Um, I feel like men can't give me kids that look like me, okay? That's how I feel, okay? Generally, if there's a guy who looks like Gabrielle should be, for example, or Kelly Rowland, or even Oprah, or something like that, I don't really feel they can give me kids that look like me. That's a whole problem for me. When it comes to having children, I feel like it's better to be with someone who is like white because then I feel like I'll dominate. The other way, I feel like they'll dominate my genes and I will have a kid that looks just like them, and then I won't be able to see myself in my own kid. Maybe that's egocentric, but that's just how I am as a Joseph. For me, most of us all look the same, and it's creepy. Because on the Joseph and the Walker side, both sides, they look the same, and that I look like them on both sides. So, like, they have strong genes. They do. And I like to keep my genes, I don't want anybody, like, messing it up, like, being kind of, like, dominant in that sense. I don't want that. So, in part, I always thought that whole ideology that some people were saying, like, you're a self-hater, if you want something else, to me, I'm like, well, I feel like it's a self-hate if I am with a dark skin, in a sense, and I've seen so many women my color who are like that. They want a chocolate baby, they want a kid that doesn't look like them, basically. Many of the time, some of the time, it's because they get made fun of, or they feel they've been otherized their whole life, that they just want to fit in, you know. Um, but in my experience, that's how I've always felt, kind of like a sense like that by black people. But to me, it's never been like I don't want to be anything. I don't want to be anything other than me. My whole thing of how I've always felt. No. But some people, I don't know, they just kind of like feel like that's how some people are. I don't know, maybe is that just directed towards dark skinned black women? But I've seen it directed at lighter skinned women. I've had people say that to me, like that was the reason I swear. Now, on top of it, that's one of my issues. Like, white men, like, because that's the thing, people never pay attention. They always say interracial. Well, if you think of it, for me, from my point of view, there are more people of other races with my color than there are black people of my own color. The amount of light-skinned black people, where I am at least, is low. Because we have black people, but not all black people are light-skinned. If you look at the percentage of caramel-colored, light-skinned black people, it's always a lower amount. It's always like, I would say like 15% of a population of 10%. That 1.5%. You know how many Mexicans are my color? Do you know how many Asians are my color? You know how many people who may not be my color, but they're close enough? You know, to me, like if someone's olive, if they're tan, that is close enough for me. I'm comfortable with that. Because I mean, like it's not. I mean, you put one and two, and then I'm the darker, and then I would be the dominant. So probably my kid will end up looking like me. You see, this is why for me, I generally prefer. I prefer men who are like Latino, Hispanic, but it's just like for me, I've always had it where I always end up dating guys. That's because, like I've said in many other videos, white people, for me, it's like this. They're the majority. If I live in Africa, then I'll think about it, okay? Differently, probably. There'll be less of them. The few that I see won't be attractive, probably, because it's less of them. If you look on a racial level, oh my god. Anyway, if you look on a racial level, you'll see that a lot of white men, at least from my perspective, aren't that like there's a lower amount that are attractive in my opinion, but there are quite a few that are attractive. Like if you live in a predominantly white society and predominantly white country, you will notice that there's more of them. Because there's more white men altogether. And like I said in other videos, when you look at like compatibility, I am just trying to find compatibility in 10% of the population. How the heck do I expect to have as much success as the next person looking at the 100% of the community, of the society? Or if you can't look at that, maybe 5%, because personally, like I said, I'm not attracted to dark-skinned black men. I'm not attracted to Asian men. That takes up 12% of the population, if you think of it, because black men are probably like dark-skinned black men are probably like 10% of the population. Asians are like 2%, I think. With that in mind, though, I am attracted to some Asian men as Indian men. I do. I like Indian men. I like Indian men a whole lot. So with that in mind, I probably actually, uh, probably just adding like 89% of the population or something. Like I said, there's more success with someone looking at a wider spectrum of people. It's just a matter of numbers. You know what I mean? So to me, that's how I feel. I feel like a lot of the time people don't pay attention to the fact that it's a numbers thing more so than anything to me when it comes to white men. Like as far as like how people are saying about like men, dark white men, mixed children, things like that. For me, I've always had this issue. Like if I were darker skin, I think I would be more comfortable with it. it makes me a little bit more comfortable. Is like that I generally am my cousins. They make me more comfortable on the whole subject. But like I said, not completely. Um, but yeah, like I said, with if I were darker skin, I'd be totally comfortable with it. 'Cause darker skin, you have more color to spare, basically. And that's probably why I prefer darker um, than lighter. Because for me, I just know when I was a kid, and this is from my own personal experience, I was a newborn. I used to see some of my photos. And one photo I saw is the kids came out the womb, and I was pink, but I thought that was blood, so I wasn't really sure what I was looking at. Then I realized now that wasn't blood. Um, and so, yeah, it was just me. Uh, and then, like, I think it was a few days later, they took a picture of me again, and I saw me next to this boy. This boy was my mother's best friend. I hate the lady, but she was my mother's best friend. Um, who was her son was dark skinned. He was 1 years old. He was male. He was wearing male clothing. You know what I mean? And I remember when I was young as 3, thinking between the two people that I had to be him, because when I was looking at me, problem was I had female clothing on, and I was a new baby, and I was much smaller, and I knew I was supposed to be a small baby, because the pictures afterwards were smaller than the baby next to me. But to me, I was like, I didn't relate to the photo, basically. I didn't relate to the photo because I looked a lot different, and I didn't really like how I looked, honestly, as a baby, as a newborn. Because I mean, I was just I was too pink. Honestly, it was like my color was off. It was lighter one, and then it was pinkish. She said that these little things were on my face. They're called like stork bites. But yeah, I didn't like that. And then she had nerve to put me in a blue suit, not like blue, but it was like blue and pink, I think, because it was a girl outfit. It was a dress. It was blue and pink or something like that. And anyway, my eyes didn't turn out yet, so my eyes were like a gray. But in the photo, they look a bit bluish because of the outfit. So I really didn't like how I looked at all. It was just not relatable. And it's not just me, and I know I've always gotten hell from this. I got the hell from saying this from people of color. I told this Mexican girl once that I didn't like the way some white kids look. I don't. I don't like how they look. Really. It's like they don't have color, and it bothers me. When people are lighter and they're babies, I think chocolate babies are beautiful. I do not really like the way lighter skinned babies look, and that's why I didn't really like how I looked when I was a baby. So that's one thing. I mean, and the thing is, no, I'm not saying all light skinned babies. I'm saying like really, really light skin. My color hadn't come in until I was like 3 months. And then when I was 3 months, I was like caramel baby. And then after that, I totally like how I look. And I've always looked the same since I was like 5 months, I think. And my look has never changed. I think my father is the same way. My father didn't really change. He went from a little kid, I think he was like 3 or 4, the youngest photo I see of him, and all the way till the point of him when he was 26. He looked the same, and I'm 26 right now. And I look exactly the same as I did when I was 5 months old. But yeah, so for me, I mean, that's why I would prefer someone who looks more similar to me. But I mean, this is an issue that I have always had an insecurity about for a long time because it's like, well, I don't come out, as far as my genes look, at least I don't come out with color that much until I'm like 3 months old. So I always just like, I don't know. That is one part that just kind of I don't like. I will, and it's probably why I prefer men who have more color. I mean, I prefer like people who are, like darker because for me, I don't want to end up having that situation with a kid or something I have where like I don't really relate or see the kid because it doesn't have color. Because I didn't have color. That's why I'm like, if you look like me, well, I didn't have color. So, and it's not just me either. Because most of my mother's family, no matter what color they are, they're born pink. I don't know why, but newborns, everybody's born really weird colored. And then they start like 3 months, and then everybody looks prettier. I think besides Deja. Deja was actually one of my cousins who actually did look pretty when she was born. She was born with a whole head of hair, and to me, she was chocolate when she first came out. I don't think she considers herself chocolate. I think she considers herself a little lighter. But to me, I always thought she's always been a good creamy brown color. And yeah, so for me, I don't know. I've always wanted that, but at the same time, like for me, I'm not actually attracted to dark skinned men. So I mean, that's my whole issue, basically. Um, so yeah, that in part is why I like find it like kind of funny that people always say that. That's why, like, to like to like have mixed children or motive for that you're just self-hating. For me, that's not the case at all. My thing also is, like I said, that's a part of the issue. And there's a further issue, and it gets deeper in. Like I said, I don't really think I'm not very partial to children who are lighter, who look white. Um, I'm not really partial to that, especially like blondes, blonde hair, blue-eyed children. Is a thing I really, really, really can't relate to. I mean, like, you're a blonde haired little kid, I just, oh, that's too, that's too far. Um, and like, kids are like brunettes too, it's not very favorable either, really. You have like some curly hair in your head that might be, like I said, I'm very egocentric in that respect. So for me, I would like if because I'm lighter skinned, I always worry that something could just go straight to the other end, too far to the other end. I look at sometimes kids like people's kids like when Lionel Richie's kid was younger, and so kids like that, like Drake's kid and stuff. And I know I'm not as bound, not as mixed. My father's biracial, my mother's black, so I don't think that I risk having that. problem, but I still kind of feel it. It's still an issue to me. Like, I don't know, like, if that did happen, I don't know, really, what, how I would respond to something like that, how I would be, but then I'm like, well, I guess during pregnancy you do this whole bond thing, right? So, I mean, maybe it wouldn't matter, but I just am like, how I am. Generally, I've always been very negative about things like that. It's not like I'm trying to be mean to anyone. It's just like, you just can't really relate. Like I said, with me, obviously I didn't want to hate on them, but I just could not relate to that person, basically, to that look. Even though, like I said, like with my cousin, it kind of is helpful because my cousin is kind of like on the lighter end. He's like white passing, white looking. People think he's white generally. Um, when he was a kid, though, to me, he didn't quite look like white children. And to me, that's why I'm like, it might kid look like a Hispanic little kid or the very light skin. That's fine. But like on the other end, if it's white, I just am like, I don't know. But I always just assume like I said, like with the whole bonding, motherly instincts or whatever. That's more, probably what would kick in. But I mean, would that be my preference and how my kid turn out in such a situation? Heck no. I want to have kids that look like me. And therefore, that's probably why I prefer some people that look more like me. But, yeah. Edit to that, I wanted to do another part, speak on another part of the video. So, some people were saying, I remember I was doing one, like, live, well, someone was doing a live, basically, uh, on another channel, and she was saying how she felt like spoilers would have issue with black men that they had a history. You see that a lot on another channel that I mentioned in the past, but I don't want to keep mentioning it because that kind of seems like I'm talking against her, and I don't really care too much about that. Like, that's not my aim. She does what she does, I do what I do. And plus, I watch some of her videos, so I mean, gangster. But she was saying how, black men are problematic with some dark skinned black women, that they are, they cause problems for them, aren't committed, they don't make a lot of money, they're not very successful, etc. My thing is, I never really, like, there's several reasons why one would know. My reason is not hating on them. The only hate I ever had for black men was the fact that they hit on me and I wasn't attracted to them. Unwanted attention is a problem. And it's caused so many problems. More so than that though, is it wasn't my own anger that caused the problem. It was more the other person being so angry because I wasn't into them. And I wasn't going to prefer them ever, you know. And for me, I mean, that's more my issue, basically, is that, the harassment and the problems. But, I mean, like, I've never been in a relationship with them. I've never been burnt by them, because I never was in a relationship to begin with. kind of like, for me, my point of view is kind of just like the same as any white woman, Hispanic woman, any other person, you know, that doesn't look like that. To me, it's like, well, I don't, I like what I look like. As it's kind of clear from what I just said a second ago about why I have my issues with, well, I don't have issues with women, but I mean, like, I have, like, my concerns as far as if I were to actually procreate one. Um, but clearly, I like what I am. I like someone in the middle, really. Because for me, I prefer, like, mixed race men. Most of everyone, I like the brown skin man. The guy who is dark skinned, not light, not like white. Light skin is fine to me, because it's like, okay, if you're the color of Stephen Curry and me, I assume that my color's gonna come out more. Because he's still dark enough. You know what I mean? And I think that's the same way as darker, kind of. Because I find some brown, sugar, black men attractive. And in those cases, I mean, like, it's the same thing. I want what my stuff is. And that's why, I mean, like, with dark skin, like, black men, that's mainly my issue. It's just like, I don't see myself in them, so I'm not attracted to them. And then, secondarily, they also look like my mother, which is a good reason femininity to me. So, I mean, there's like a no. But, I mean, that's probably actually, honestly, if you think of it, why, for me, white men are more of a possibility than black men. And white men, I mean, I, I don't know, I think it's also because of the population difference, like I said. There are more white men out there, so that's why I'm like, I only date white men. And for me, I mean, my preference isn't white men, but heck, the population is mostly white men, so of course, I'll give some white men some chances. So that's how I see it. Uh, I don't really have any anger towards them, or like angry because of, I don't know. For me, I mean, like, they never done anything, so I'm like, I don't have any anger towards American black men. The only, like I said, the only thing is the bothering. But before that, I was a teen, and I wasn't attracted to them then. But like when I started getting bothered at like 17 and 18, like I said, I didn't, I didn't have any attraction to them. I grew up in a white neighborhood, so for me, I grew up in a white and Hispanic neighborhood, to be literally honest. So for me, I didn't really find them to be appealing because I grew up around them. I don't look like them. I don't, because that's what I mean. Like, with men that look like me, I am attracted to them. And I didn't grow up around light skin or black men. Technically, I guess mixed race men. I did grow up around a little bit because, uh, in some circles, some people who are white, they get with black people, they have mixed children. So growing up, I did grow up around mixed race kids that were my age, you know. So, I mean, I guess to that extent, but not very largely. And I don't think that was really the impetus of why I'm attracted to mixed race men. It's more because my father is mixed race. That's why I'm attracted to mixed race men. So yeah, for me, it's not an anger issue. It's not a issue of Oh, they're always in and out of jail, they're criminals, blah, 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 blah. To me, I'm like, they're Africans, live out very good lives, okay, in America. They do. They're very successful. They make a good life for themselves. And after all that, I so would rather be with a white guy with minimum wage or a Hispanic guy with minimum wage over a black millionaire. Because I'm not attracted to them. But, like, literally, I'm not attracted to them. It's like you asking me, would I rather be with a woman who's got $1 million or the guy with $20,000 a year that I'm attracted to? Of course, I'm going with the guy that doesn't make anything. Now, obviously, I don't have to make that choice. But I'm just saying, this is not a monetary issue. It's not a success issue. It's not a personality issue. It is your face, your body, your skin tone is not attractive to me, and I will never find them attractive. That's just it. It's not hate towards them, it's not anger towards them, it is just what it is. And I mean, I just think like limiting and simplifying Swirling to just say it's just a bunch of angry people who are upset at black men is just delusional, in my opinion. Do you really think everybody is attracted to you? Why? Like, why would everyone be attracted to you? Like, why? I don't understand that. I don't assume everyone's attracted to me. Why do you assume everyone's attracted to you? Like, that's just weird. And it's not even that. I mean, like, you don't assume all white women are attracted to you. You don't assume Hispanic women are attracted to you. Why do you assume all black women? Why do you assume all mixed women are attracted to you? That is so insane because mixed race women aren't even, they aren't even just black. They're a whole different thing when you add black and white. It's a different thing. It is. It is a whole thing of itself, you know? And you know that a dark skinned black man is not the same as a mixed race man who is black and white. They just aren't the same. As far as looks, I mean, you could say, yes, as far as social oppression and all that stuff, okay. But as far as sexual attraction and physical attraction, that is based off looks, you know, and that is based off a phenotype that is similar many of the time. That's not going to be someone, if someone's mixed, they're not going to be the same as someone who's darkened. Everybody has eyes to see that the two are not the same. You know what I mean? So for me, I just think like that in itself, and then I'm not saying like dark and black women, of course, there are plenty of them that are not attracted to them. We're never attracted to them. The reason that is just because sometimes opposites attract. They attract a whole bunch. This is why dark skinned black women get a lot more attention from light skinned men and white men because they are, you know, more attractive to them because they're the opposite. Opposites attract, like I said, to widen the gene pool, basically. So, I mean, that makes sense in itself. I just don't understand why people are always trying to assume that, mixed race people and, black people, black women, that they have to be attracted to one thing. That makes no sense to me. We all are different, we all have different preferences. It doesn't mean that somebody was in a bad relationship. It does not mean someone is like bitter about black men. They saw black men in a bad light. They think that they have a certain personality. They think they don't have money. It doesn't have to do with any of that some of the time. Some of the time it just is. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with how you look either. It's just that that person is not attracted to that look. So, I mean, like, It's that's it, basically. Um, and I think that's all for now. Was that all? I think I addressed everything. Cause yeah, um, yeah. I guess I'm done as far as that. I just think that people need to look further into it and not just think, oh, all black women are attracted to me. I don't know any other race who does this. Seriously, do do Hispanics or white people really do this to their Hispanic or white women who don't like their own race? Do they say like, oh, they had a bad experience, or oh, that's one other thing I wanted to address. They're not wanted. I've heard a little bit of that, but I always hear it from black people. I never hear it from the others that much. But maybe I don't know. As far as black people, I always find it weird though. They always say swirlers like aren't wanted. Like they say this so much about dark and black women, uh, and then get pissed off if you're like one of those black women who's not dark skinned, doesn't have those like very afro features that are, they're very feminine and beautiful, but some people are just negative because I think dark skinned men are negative about it because it doesn't look right on them, but on black women it looks beautiful. So they're just jealous. But anyway, when women like that don't look like, the dark skinned black woman that they're trying to trash, many of the time they seem to be even more bitter about it, and then they try to like make up different reasons why they're not wanted, right? And it's like it doesn't really change anything because day to day, especially for me, day to day I see over and over and over and over and over freaking again these dark skinned black men hitting on me and me denying and rejecting over and over and over and over and over again. You know, so from my point of view, it's like, you know, you're saying that, but in reality, it's just not true. Many of the time, dark skinned black men are still bothering, and that's my main issues. Me rejecting, them not taking it. Like, for me, I can reject a white guy and not have to call the police. I wish I could do that with black men. I wish I could just reject them nicely and softly and, not have to call the police. Could we just be honest? I am single. I do not want you. I'm not attracted to you. I, I mean, like, could I convey that very softly, very nicely, and not have to, like, have it come into a big firestorm, you know? That's generally how I feel. Like, if people didn't get like so angry over it, things of that nature. If they really didn't want swirlers, well, we wouldn't have a problem. But at the end of the day, we do have a problem. We do have a problem because you guys do want, swirling black women many of the time. You just assume that the only ones who do it are of a certain phenotype that you claim is unwanted. And for me, it's just like, I just wish, some people were more realistic and didn't have like an ego trip. Like, I wish people were just like able to be okay with the fact that not everyone has you as their preference and it's okay. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on this video. I'm done. Alright, thanks, bye.